what we're looking to produce is curved sections of timber like these. To mark out the radiuses, we need a compass. We're also going to need a router. In this case it's a 1/2 inch router, has variable speed, has a plunge action, and this will be used with a cutter to cut the shapes of the template. Now what we've done with the router is we fixed it onto this long plywood base, which has been extended by this piece of timber. What we're going to do with this is we're going to use it in the same way as we use a compass. At the first stage in producing the curves, I've got to have a base to mark them out on. What I have is my base, which is going to be called my rod. Now using this centre hole here, place a screw in the centre hole and I can mark out my rod. You can start working from that to produce some templates like this. I screw a piece of plywood down to the base, ready for forming into a template. Next what I do is I take the router and I position it at the correct radius on the arc which I've already set out on the base. I screw it to the centre point of the arc and it's ready now for routing. I'm making several templates for this project. There'll be different widths and different radiuses, but the method's the same for all of them. After each cut I make adjustments to the router to lower the cutter. When I finish the cut, I stop the router and then reposition it for the outer radius. I'm going to sand these edges and then it'll be ready to place on a wood so we can use it for marking. And then what we're going to do, we're going to use a rather thick marking pen. And we're going to use a thick marking pen because we're going to bandsaw, leaving this marker on. The intention in this is that when we use the spindle moulder, that's just a rough guide for yourself. When we use the actual spindle moulder, the spindle will take that mark off. We don't want to leave any more. We've marked our timber out here. I take my time with using the bandsaw because I want to make sure that I leave that line on. You might notice that I've set the blade guide about 10mm above the wood. This is for two reasons. Firstly, it protects my fingers, gives me maximum protection from the moving blade. But secondly, there are adjustable guides either side of the blade which are incorporated in the head. There's also a thrust bearing behind the blade which is incorporated in the head, and these help to guide the blade as I'm pushing the wood. I completed the cuts, I'm now ready to do the moulding. And finally, to clean our wood to size, we're going to use the shaper on the left hand side of the picture. The picture bottom right shows a template being used to guide the wood through the shaper. The picture on the top right of our screen shows the cutter block. This has to align with the ring fence shown in the bottom right hand picture. I do this by using a square to align the ring fence against the cutter. Right, what we've done now is we've got the ring fence, we've got the cutter set up, we've got the cage around the ring fence. The reason for this is that sometimes your fingers might get a little bit too close to the cutters, and if the wood snatches, your fingers go in and you've lost them. So we put this cage around and set it up so that it's as close as possible. Everything's guarded and your hands are going to be safe. Turn the spindle moulder on. I'm feeding the timber in from left to right. That is, the opposite direction to the cutter. I'm also very careful
to ensure that my hands don't go directly in front of the cutter. I pass them over and around the cage. I finish shaping the wood, and if I use a square on the side and hold it against the edge, I can see it's perfectly in line with the template, and I've got a nice smooth curve.